Hello, this is Danny, welcoming you to the 2146th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline Thursday the 19th of April 2018. The readers this week are Jenny and a new reader Jane, and Mo with Peter on the controls. The editor was Phillip, and the production and distribution team is Jean, Lindsay and Reena. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Brilly, Fernand Bouillon, Harry Breuer, and is performed by Jean-Jacques Perry and is used with his kind permission. The local news stories that we will be reading come from the Enfield Independent and the EN magazine and are their copyright. The events information has been collated by us from other sources. The lead story this week, call for second vote on EU membership. Before the news, sunrise and sunset times for the week beginning the 23rd of April are sunrise at 5:48 and sunset at 20:10. Do get in touch with us to share your own news and special announcements. We love to hear from you. If you have any comments about the Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. She is your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. Now, I will read the first item of local news. Call for second vote on EU membership. An Enfield citizens group has launched a campaign for a second vote on EU membership, with an option to remain if the UK is offered a bad deal. Supporters of local pro-European group Enfield for Europe, EFE, took to the streets of Southgate on Saturday, April 14, to hand out postcards for people to send to local MPs asking them to back a public vote. They also urged voters to back pro-EU council candidates and parties in the forthcoming local council elections on May 3rd. A spokesman said, "Brexit is a local issue and it isn't a done deal. Electing as many pro-EU councillors as possible on May 3rd will signal to the government that we won't accept the damage that leaving the EU will do to local services." The group claims the borough stands to lose millions of pounds in EU funding if Britain leaves the EU, including money for infrastructure projects and financial support for local farmers and businesses. Enfield also benefits from EU money for London-wide projects such as improvements to the London Overground Rail network, which received loans totalling £236 million between 2015 and 2017, according to statistics that came from the European Union and the House of Commons Library. Some 40 youth, employment skills and access to work schemes in North and East London have received £74 million from the EU. The spokesperson added, "We now know claims by the Leave campaigns during the referendum about the supposed benefits of leaving the EU, such as an extra £350 million a week for the NHS, were nonsense." Brexit could also threaten the Irish peace process by creating a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland and cause chaos at ports and airports if we leave the EU's customs union and single market. Now the truth about Brexit is emerging. The people of Enfield and the UK deserve another say. Hugo Mann, field campaign manager for EFE's affiliate national pro-EU group, European Movement UK, said thousands of activists from all over the country are campaigning to demand the right to a say on any final Brexit deal. A campaign for a second vote on Brexit is also underway in Barnet, where Chipping Barnet for Europe has been lobbying members of the House of Lords to back amendments to the European Union Withdrawal Bill.
We now have a piece about Parkinson's disease by Stephanie Stone of the charity Revitalise. This month we mark the World Parkinson's Day. With over 145,000 people estimated to be living with Parkinson's in the UK alone, I'd like to take a moment to tell your readers why we're passionate to do everything that we can to be there for people in need of our support. We understand that living with Parkinson's can present daily challenges, both for the people affected and for those they hold close. We also understand that having the reassurance of knowing that help is at hand really can make all the difference. That's why I'd like to take a moment to reassure your readers that they did shouldn't need to face the challenges that Parkinson's can bring alone. We're here to help. I work for Revitalise, an incredible charity that provides respite holidays for disabled people and carers at our Jubilee Lodge Respite Holiday Centre in Chigwell in Essex. We welcome guests with over 150 different conditions, including Parkinson's, and every year seeing for ourselves the vital importance of respite in enabling our guests to spend quality time with one another and to continue coping. If you would like to find out more about Revitalise, our breaks, or ways that we may be able to support you and your loved one, please visit www.revitalise.org.uk or call 0303 3030 145.
Now, a medium promises detailed messages from loved ones. A man who describes himself as a medium, healer and teacher is coming to the Millfield Theatre in Edmonton on April the 26th. Tony Stockwell from Walthamstow has had umpteen television programmes including Psychic Academy, Psychic Detective and Psychic School, and has written 4 books. He has taught globally at schools for mediumistic development, as well as setting up his own school for developing mediums. On the evening, Tony promises to demonstrate his belief that those who have passed can communicate with their loved ones with detailed messages, frequently including names, dates and locations, and all delivered with emotion, sensitivity and empathy. The evening may include psychometry, photograph readings and psychic prediction. I spoke to him to find out more. How did you get your big break? I was approached to do a new series called Street Psychic for Living TV around 15 years ago. Things just escalated from there. I also filmed Psychic Detective and Street Psychic in San Francisco. This was great as it gave me exposure to a wider audience in the USA who are still very supportive. When was the first time you knew that you had a gift? Well, I was aware of spirit from very young age, as long as I can remember really. Never had a name for it or even knew I was that different from everyone else. I can recall seeing spirit from as young as 4. However, when I was 16 years old and went to my first spiritualist church, it all became clear and I realised what I was seeing and that not everyone was the same. What do you love most about being a medium? The diversity of the work and the diversity of the characters you meet in this world and the next. What makes you want to perform to people and families who have lost loved ones? It was never a case of me wanting to perform, and it was certainly never my need to work in theatres or in television, as I'm actually quite shy. I wanted to communicate with spirit, and the rest just took its own path. From the moment I started to develop my gift, it was as natural to me as eating and breathing. When you're able to pass on a message to a person or family that has lost a loved one, there really is no going back, as the feeling of what has happened is immense. Do you find some occasions are easier than others? Do you know why this is? The audience's energy, the venue, your energy? And what do you do to overcome this? Yes, some demonstrations are exceptional and some are a struggle. Sometimes you know why, my own state of mind, tiredness, the venue and audience, but often there isn't a reason or thread. It just happens and you have to accept it. All I do for each demonstration is prepare as best I can and strive hard to make the communication clear. But sometimes, despite all of this, it cannot be my best. I've also done demonstrations feeling totally exhausted for a hard audience, and it's been exceptional. What would you say to anyone who is wondering whether to come to see the show? If people haven't seen a medium work before, come along with an open mind. You may be surprised. The phenomenon of mediumship is a powerful thing and has the ability to change lives, so why not give it the benefit of the doubt? Any advice for someone intending to attend an evening of mediumship for the first time? Be relaxed and have no great expectation. Also, do not make your mind up about mediumship after one demonstration. What do you say to people who are sceptical? I don't really say anything. They are as entitled to their opinions and beliefs as I am, and those that do believe. It wouldn't do for us all to be the same now, would it? There is a difference between those that are sceptical and those that are open-minded but sitting on the fence, as the latter will inquire and will often come along to a show. Some will go away convinced and some will not. That's just how it is. For the hardened sceptic, no proof will ever be enough, and they will always find a way to explain away what they have witnessed. That's fine with me, as that's their path in life and this is mine. But I have the pleasure in knowing that they will one day find out the truth about life after death. But in the meantime, being sceptical is fine with me. Have you ever been scared by what's happening in a reading? No, never. There are a lot of misconceptions surrounding mediumship, but to me it's all very natural and safe. It's just a part of who I am and what I do. Readings are orchestrated by a love connection between the living and those in spirit, so there is nothing to be scared of. To the contrary, it's a lovely feeling to be part of that reunion. And this is going to take place at Millfield Theatre, Silver Street, Edmonton, London N18 1PJ, on Thursday, April the 26th at 7:45 p.m, and details can be obtained at 020 8807 6680 or at www.millfieldtheatre.co.uk.
We're on the ball. Girls Get Sporty. Girls are being encouraged to get fit and active at youth football sessions across the borough. Whiteweb's Eagles Football Club are taking part in the FA and SSE Wildcats programme at the College of Harringay, Enfield and North East London, known as Connell, from April the 18th. The FA Charter Standard Club will host a session for girls aged 5 to 11 at the college's new 3D football pitch at its Enfield Centre. SSE Wildcats is run in partnership with SSE, sponsor of the Women's FA Cup, to inspire girls to participate in football and get them involved more in sport. Chairman of the Whiteweb's Eagles Football Club, Julie Carter, said, "We want to give as many girls as possible a chance to play the beautiful game. The Wildcats football sessions will provide a safe environment where girls with or without any football experience can have fun engaging with sport, developing skills, learn new things, and hopefully gain a lifelong love of sport." More than 200 centres in England took part in 2017, the scheme now extended to a further 900 centres and 26,000 participants across the country. Recent research by the FA showed that only 41% of girls aged 10 play football, compared to 95% of boys of the same age. Whiteweb's Eagles are also holding a Girls' Football Week from the 23rd to the 29th of April, which will include a visit on April the 25th by Arsenal Women and England under-18s player Grace Neville, who used to play for the club. The club moved to its new home at Connell after the £770,000 3G football pitch was opened by a former Tottenham Hotspur and England footballer
and meet
Ledley
your friends.
King
A traditional
November.
village fete will be coming to the borough to bring music, food and entertainment to children and adults. Capel Manor College's 40 Hall Village Farm will host the fair on May 13 and will host a farmers market, Punch and Judy and Morris dancing. The farm will be a market for residents to buy local produce at its new farmers market every second Sunday of the month. The market is organised by Capel Manor College's 40 Hall Farm in partnership with the Food Gatherer, an Enfield group that brings local produce and drink to markets in North London. Farm spokesman said, "Following on from the success of last year, the 40 Hall Village Fete is back again. Bring your neighbours, meet your friends and take some time to sit, relax and enjoy great street food." 40 Hall Farm will be opening its gate for the launch of a brand new monthly farmers market, which will be held every second Sunday of the month from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And a further piece from the news. Families are ready for the bubble rush. The Children's Hospice has teamed up with 3 others for the return of the East London bubble rush. Haven House Children's Hospice, Woodford, will attend the 5-kilometre run at the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. Over 1,000 children and adults will take part in the event as they make their way through the route while sprayed with foam and bubbles. JC Wolfe, a nursery nurse from Enfield, uses Haven House for her 2-year-old son, Finley. JC said, "Haven House has made a tremendous difference to Finley. Taking part in the bubble rush is my way of saying thank you for all the support my family have received." Finley has holoprosencephaly, a rare genetic condition resulting in complete brain development. Everyone at Haven House always asks how Finley is doing, and it's the little things like being offered tea and coffee at reception before he starts his therapy, which makes us feel so welcome. Haven House is such a special place to my little family. The staff are so friendly and they couldn't be more helpful. I really hope more people in the local area can support the charity. All funds raised for the run to be divided equally between Haven House, St Francis Hospice, Richard House Children's Hospice and St Joseph's Hospice. Event manager at Haven House, Katie Tyler, said, "We're delighted that JC is taking part in the bubble rush and we hope to see even more participants at this year's event. It promises to be a colourful, fun-filled day with plenty of foam, and funds raised will help us to support more families like JC and Finley."
NHS statistics have revealed that just over a fifth of children are as active as they need to be to maintain a healthy weight. Statistics found that parents of overweight and obese children think their child is the right weight, with fathers more likely to think this than mothers. 41% of mothers with obese children said their child was about the right weight or too light, compared to 55% of fathers with obese children. The Chief Medical Officer recommends that children are active for 60 minutes a day to stay fit and maintain a healthy weight, but the statistics reveal that only 22% achieve this. Living Streets, the UK charity which promotes walking as an easy way for children to fit more physical activity into their day, is urging parents to pledge to walk to school during Walk to School Week, May the 21st to the 25th, to help in the fight against childhood obesity. Childhood obesity is one of the biggest health threats facing the UK. Swapping the school run for a school walk is an easy way for families to fit more activity into their day and take the fight against obesity into their own hands. There is so much attention put on the sugar tax and eating better that we can be forgiven for forgetting that moving more is also part of the solution to childhood obesity. Walking to school not only helps children to maintain a healthy weight, but is also great for their mental well-being and can help reduce harmful air pollution around school gates by taking cars off the road. It should be considered as one of the best options to improve our children's health.
Easy exercises to boost happiness. Keeping up a positive state of mind can seem challenging, but research suggests that chasing happiness rather than success or money may be the key to good health. Some 16 years of practice means therapist Richard Nichols has grown to gain a good understanding of what does and doesn't work when it comes to boosting our sense of happiness. Using his podcast, Motivate Yourself, he was able to share these ideas to see how they work in the real world, examining feedback from his thousands of listeners. Now he has turned his most successful happiness exercises into a book, 15 Minutes to Happiness. Here he shares 3 of his favourite happiness-boosting exercises. 1. Write your feelings in a journal. Keeping a personal journal is a great way to gain a better perspective on things. Research has even shown it to have similar benefits to counselling, but it needs to be done properly. Writing a journal shouldn't be about wallowing in self-pity. It should be a tool to help you to see alternative ways of thinking, feeling and behaving. Just find a topic you want to write about and have a brain dump for 15 minutes. Remember to write quickly, then your inner critic can't get into the way of the process. Go back and reread previous entries from time to time. Notice how time and experience can change how you think and feel about what you wrote about. It will help you see how you've developed. 2. Use thought stopping to quell negative thoughts. Thought stopping is a technique that originally used something such as an elastic band on your wrist to interrupt your thoughts. If you were obsessing over something, you'd pull back the elastic band, let it go, and it would give you a little shock and help you move on with your day. When we actively try to suppress a thought, we find we will have an increase of these thoughts. It's like telling someone to not think about a pink elephant, and all they'll think about is pink elephants. If you tell someone to think about a blue goose, then it's unlikely they'll think about a pink elephant. In the case of emotional and mental health, trying not to think about things that would upset you actually encourages your brain to focus on it even more. So, instead of trying not to think about something, you should instead deliberately think about something else. 3. Check for double standards. This exercise will help you recognise if there are any expectations you have for yourself that have been set too high. Grab a pen and some paper and sit down for 15 minutes. Have a think about the standards you set yourself in one particular area of your life. Pick one area to work on and write a list of your expectations. Go through the list again, only this time see those standards as someone else's. Now, ask yourself what effect crossing off these expectations would have if you applied them to yourself. Does everything work out okay despite it?
Cooking with confidence and independence. Eyes for Success CIC will be doing a 10-week Cooking with Confidence and Independence program to enable people living with sight loss to lead confident and independent, successful lives in their home by using the kitchen to cook well-balanced, healthy meals from scratch. This will also give them confidence-building skills, assertiveness techniques, and the independence to go into their local store to buy ingredients to cook a well-planned and balanced meal. The participants will learn skills that will help them live successful lives with confidence to cook on a budget, adapt cooking techniques to individual needs, socialize and meet others living with sight loss, and learn about the cookware that is out there to support people living with sight loss. Cost is £5 per class in order to meet costs for purchase of ingredients. To register, please contact Ramona Williams on 07730 410 788 or email ramonaw@eyesforsuccess.com.
And now, here is an opportunity to trip the light fantastic. A free ballroom and Latin dance programme in Westminster, funded by Sport England and the National Lottery, is launching on Friday the 25th of May from 11 a.m. to midday. The venue is the Greenhouse Centre, 35 Causeway Street, London Northwest 1, 5NS. London Vision and Step Change Studios are launching a free 30-week dance course for blind and visually impaired people. Learn to dance ballroom and Latin American in a fun, supportive environment and develop your potential. There will be opportunities to perform or just to dance for your pleasure. Come on your own, come with a partner. This is a new, unique opportunity with limited places. To get the most from the programme, we ask for your full commitment. Places must be registered in advance, and to do so, please email contact@stepchangesstudios.com or call 0797 6363 861 or go on the website www.
Now
Step
for
Changes
a sporting roundup.
Studios.
Town score 4 to extend unbeaten run against Angels. Enfield Town produced a dominant display to stretch their unbeaten run to 4 games, with a 4-1 defeat of Tunbridge Angels on Saturday. It was the second week in a row in which Town have found the net on 4 occasions, and the win leaves them 12th in the Bostik League Premier Division with 2 games to play. The Towners' starting 11 featured just one change from the side which had beaten Burgess Hill Town 4-2 the previous week, as Brad Watkins came in for Simon Thomas. They wasted little time in picking up where they left off and made Tunbridge pay for a slow start, with the game still in its infancy as Watkins made an instant impact. After a header had rebounded into the box, Watkins reacted quickest and rifled in to put the visitors ahead from 6 yards. The lead lasted a matter of minutes, however, as Tunbridge made the most of a rebound of their own to level the scores. From then on, the remainder of the first period was played out in competitive fashion, and both sides squandered chances to go ahead at the interval. The second period would follow a remarkably similar pattern to the early throws of the first, as Enfield retook the lead in the 53rd minute. There was little in the way of finesse about the Towners' second goal, and a long ball forward proved to be their opponent's undoing. Watkins was involved once more, flicking on for Aaron Green, who turned smartly and flicked in first time. Town were given breathing space soon after, as substitute Sam Young scored their fourth in stunning fashion. Picking up the ball up wide on the left, Youngs drove inside, beat 3 men, and found the back of the net with an effort from 25 yards. Town were now in control of matters and extended their lead to 3 goals before the full-time whistle, thanks to Watkins' second of the day. He fired in with an accurate finish from the edge of the box and was unfortunate not to complete a hat-trick when he shot wide in the 82nd minute. Enfield take on 17th placed Worthing in their next game on Saturday, before completing their campaign away to fellow mid-table side Merstham the following week. Elsewhere, Enfield Borough were on the receiving end of a 2-0 home defeat against Baldock Town in South Midlands Division 1. With Baldock sitting second in the table and having enjoyed a 4-0 win over Borough earlier in the campaign, it was always likely to be a tough task for the hosts to take anything from the game. Owen Robertson and Josh Coley got the goals for a dominant Baldock side on a day when Borough struggled to match their title-chasing rivals. Borough will have little time to feel sorry for themselves and have a hectic schedule between now and the end of the campaign. At the time of going to press, Borough still had 8 games to play before finish the season on May 9.
And now for some rugby news. Harrow get brushed aside as the season comes to a close. Winning finale for Ignatian's coach in a comfortable victory. Enfield Ignatians brought their season to a close in winning fashion as they claimed a 34-15 victory over Harrow on Saturday. The win was a fitting way to send off departing coach Ali Cook as Ignatians ended the London 2 North West season in flying form. Cook chose to focus on his side's display rather than himself in his post-match assessment and was understandably pleased with what he saw. He said, "We've bookended the season with wins against Harrow. There's no doubt of the need to be more consistent. The side has the capacity to finish higher in the league. I'm in no doubt that this young team has a rosy future." Charlie Hoy earned the Man of the Match award for his tireless work in both close quarters and open field play, which made a significant impact.
Table tennis star Denise Payet is speechless after gaining her bronze. A thrilled Dennis Payet was left speechless after claiming a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games last week. The Enfield table tennis player was part of the England squad which finished third in the team standings on the Gold Coast. While the 16-year-old didn't get any game time in the team event, she did feature in both singles and doubles matches and returns from Australia delighted with the experience she has gained. "It was my first big games and it's been great. Coming third in the team, I am speechless being part of that," Payet said. "I'm so happy for the girls. They definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. I can't describe how happy I am to be in the team, and I thank them for welcoming me and making me feel part of the team. Our bench spirit was unbelievable, and I tried to give everything I could from the bench to lift them." Payet, who is England's 4th-ranked player, enjoyed a run to the last 16 of the singles competition before going out to Canada's Mo Zhang. Her run in the competition featured some fine displays, and she advanced from her first match with a dominant 4-0 win over Rukayi Kino of Mauritius, 4-1 win over Sri Lankan Ishara Majurgani, who is placed more than 300 places above Payet in the world rankings, followed. That win set up at last a 32 meeting with Fijian Grace Yi, who was no match for Payet and lost 4-love. The last 16 match may have been too much for Payet to overcome, but she was nonetheless pleased with her showing against athletes with greater experience. Payet said, "In the singles, I am happy with making the last 16. I beat 2 players ranked much higher than me, so I'm quite happy with that." Payet also appeared in the mixed doubles with teammate Sam Walker and advanced to the quarter-finals. Javin Chung and Karen Lin were the first pairing beaten by Payet and her partner as they eased to a 3-1 success. However, a last 8 meeting with eventual champions Geo Ning and Yung Mangju ended in a 3-0 defeat for the English duo.
EN Magazine, issue 97, April 2018. Prototype de Havilland Mosquito receives Engineering Heritage Award. The aircraft receives the accolade from the Institution of Mechanical Engineers in recognition of its pioneering bonded composite aircraft construction, which is still in use today. The de Havilland DH-98 Mosquito, one of the fastest operational aircraft in the world when it entered service in 1941, has been presented with an an Engineering Heritage Award by the Institution of Mechanical Engineers at a ceremony at the de Havilland Aircraft Museum in Hertfordshire on Sunday the 1st of April, the 100th anniversary of the Royal Air Force. Fast, high-flying Mosquito was, for much of World War II, able to roam almost at will over enemy-occupied territory. Built with wooden components, it was designed for speed and range as a 2-seat unarmed light bomber, unarmed reconnaissance aircraft, and long-range fighter. Its performance derived from a combination of careful packaging, an aerodynamically clean shape, a high wing loading, and high power from 2 supercharged liquid-cooled V12 Merlin engines. The design of the Mosquito evolved over well over 30 variants, but it excelled as a multi-role aircraft. The prototype achieved a maximum speed of 437 miles an hour in October 1942 at 29,000 feet. Previous winners of Engineering Heritage Awards include Alan Turing's bomb at Bletchley Park, E-Type Jaguar, and Concorde, the fastest ever airliner. Other aircraft-related winners include the short SC-1 VTOL aircraft, plane which provided data that influenced later designs of aeroplanes, the Rolls-Royce RB211 engine, and the Vulcan bomber XH-558, the last airworthy representative of the RAF's V-bomber fleet. The de Havilland DH-98 Mosquito prototype is the 117th recipient of the award. Charles Clark, associate member of the Institution of Mechanical Engineers, said, confident in their vision for this aircraft, de Havilland persisted with the design and prototyping against ministry setbacks. Lord Beaverbrook cancelled the project after Dunkirk, and the first flight took place on the 25th of November 1940. Exactly 7,781 Mosquitoes were built, a vindication of de Havilland's vision. The Mosquito's construction from wood meant that it was easily repaired, and it enabled furniture and piano factories in England, Canada, and Australia to build the aircraft. The absence of armaments meant that it could be kept aerodynamically clean and could carry higher payloads, a philosophy continued by the Canberra and the V-bombers. Certainly no aeroplane flew so many different types of mission and performed them as well as the Mosquito. Alistair Hodgson, curator of the de Havilland Aircraft Museum, said, "I'm delighted that the institution has recognised the Mosquito prototype with this award. The aircraft is a very significant piece of our aviation heritage, more so because the de Havilland Aircraft Museum is located on the site where this aircraft was designed and built in great secrecy during the war. You can see the de Havilland DH-98 Mosquito, along with more than 20 other aircraft, at the de Havilland Aircraft Museum, Salisbury Hall, London Coney, AL2 1BU, website www.dehavillandmuseum.co.uk.
Making waves for charity. A hardcore fundraiser has dived into a challenge to swim the English Channel, the Enfield-based charity, the Nightingale Cancer Support Centre. Sue Abbs, who developed lymphedema during treatment for breast cancer, was signed off from the clinic in February. She then set herself the challenge to swim 21 miles in 7 weeks in her local swimming pool, with the aim of raising £7,000, which would pay for a lymphedema nurse for a year at the Nightingale. Sue said, "The Nightingale has been a lifeline over the years, and I'm grateful for their services. I saw a lymphedema nurse much quicker than I would have done if the Nightingale didn't fund this service to prioritise cancer patients. I saw the swim challenge as an opportunity to get fit, while at the same time I felt I could achieve something that will make a difference to others who might go through the same thing that I did." She added, "All of us have busy lives, but I wanted to prove that fundraising doesn't have to be a chore or take up a huge amount of time, and you can make it fun. Anyone can do it." Hospice director Joan Kearns said, "For many people, including me, swimming just 3 lengths of the pool would be a challenge, but swimming the channel is taking it to another level. Especially as when you've had cancer, your energy levels are nowhere near what they used to be." We're all very proud of Sue. And for anyone wishing to donate, Sue has a Just Giving page at www.justgiving.com campaigns/charity/NCHT/Sue Channel Swim. Or, if you're feeling brave and you want to take up the challenge yourself, either alone or as part of a group, please contact the Nightingale on 0208 366 4333 or visit the website www.nightingalesupport.org.uk.
Turning 40 is a big deal and normally involves celebrations centred around the birthday boy or girl. But local man Stuart Hassler, who has physical and learning disabilities, decided that his 40th birthday would be a great way to raise money for charities dear to his heart. After weeks of planning, Stuart's birthday party was held at the Park Avenue Disability Centre in Enfield. Always thinking of others, Stuart decided that as part of his celebrations he would run a raffle and donate the proceeds to 2 worthy causes: Albany Leisure Centre, specifically in their drive to help disabled residents to access the gym, and Todos Together UK, who support homeless people across London. Together with his Caremark carer, Tilly, Stuart sold raffle tickets for £2 each in the run-up to the big day. Over 25 friends joined Stuart to celebrate his big 4-0, including members from his 2 chosen charities. "I'm happy and proud to support my 2 charities. It's important to try and help others whenever you can, isn't it? I had a great time at my party and want to thank everyone who made it such a special day for me, especially my wonderful carer Tilly," said Stuart. Stuart lives in Enfield with his beloved cat, Mittens. The pair are both devoted Arsenal supporters. For help with day-to-day life, he receives in-home visits from local care provider Caremark. For the last 6 months, Stuart and his carer Tilly have built up a strong friendship. As well as working for Caremark, Tilly also volunteers for Todos Together UK. The 30-year-old care worker says she felt rather emotional when Stuart told her that he would like to split the proceeds of his raffle between Albany Leisure Centre and Todos Together UK. "I'm so proud of Stuart. He's been organising for months and has planned everything himself. He's so caring and always thinking of others. as you can see by his idea to make his own birthday something for charity. I love working with Stuart. He has such a positive outlook despite his own struggles, and we always end up having a laugh about something. Collected in style by a limousine, Stuart looked every inch the dapper gent in his brand new suit and shirt, freshly ironed days in advance by Tilly. At the party, guests enjoyed food, a DJ, and even a homemade pinata, all organised by the birthday boy himself. Joe Daly, managing director of Caremark Enfield, pledged to match Stuart's donations to both organisations. Stuart was kind enough to invite me along to his birthday. I had a wonderful time. He's a remarkable man, and we're incredibly proud to be able to support his amazing efforts.
400 years of Enfield Market. In 1618, James I granted a royal charter that remains today to the old Enfield Charitable Trust to hold a Saturday market in Enfield town for the good of the people of Enfield. EN magazine took a stroll down to Enfield Market to meet some of the current traders to discover the secret and attraction of being a trader today. Shireen. I only started trading on the market last November, Shireen told the magazine. I had been selling my jewellery products online, but people looking online cannot see or feel the quality of the products I sell on my market stall. Also, having the stall allows me to interact with customers to find out which products they like and how I can improve my product range. All the products I sell are ethically sourced and made in the UK. Even though I have only been on the market a short time, I have already built up relationships with regular customers and hope more people will come and visit the market and my stall. Victoria Bakery, Hull. The Victoria Bakery has a close link to Enfield Market, as the great-great-grandmother of the owners used to have a shop in what is now the space between Cafe Nero and NatWest Bank. We have been on the market for 3 years selling our breads and cakes, which are produced at the bakery in Barnet, said Carl. I love working on the market stall. Seeing the local customers who come back week after week to buy our bread is great, especially all the positive feedback that they give me. Paul's Fruit and Veg. I have been working on or part of the market for something like 37 years, Paul said. At one time I used to help pull out the stalls, but today I run my fruit and veg stall. I did have a shop for a while, but all the extra overheads made it very difficult to trade. I love working on the market, even if it does mean very early starts to fetch my fruit and veg to sell to the local people. It is those local customers that make working at the market such fun. People say it is the traders on the market that are characters, but I would say it's the customers that bring the character to the market. We are all well known for the quality of our produce that people can come and see and choose for themselves. It is not all pre-packed in plastic like much of the supermarket produce. The Watchman, Richard. I am currently the longest serving trader at Enfield Market. I opened my stall in 1974, 44 years ago. I have stayed on the market for all this time as it were my customers, Richard told Ian magazine. Running a market still means I have limited overheads compared to having a shop, which means I can keep the costs on my products down and yet still offer a great service and have a chat with my customers and people that stop by to have a chat. The market has given me some great experience over the last 44 years, including meeting Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth when she visited Enfield Market as part of the 700 years celebrations in 2008. My sock farm, Murray. I started trading on Enfield Market last November, and for me it has been a great success. I sell mainly socks for both children and adults in a range of colourful and fun designs, along with a range of children's underwear. The socks are 100% cotton, and I believe, and so do many of my customers, that the most comfortable you can buy, says Miri. As an editor's note, I have to agree with this. Markets have a reputation of where you can pick up something cheap. With extremely high costs of retail space on the high street, a market stall gives small sellers like myself an opportunity to reach and engage with customers. If you look around at markets, more and more of the stallholders are offering high-quality, unique products at affordable prices. I would highly recommend other small businesses to try a market stall. It's a great way to grow your business. Glenn's Fruit and Veg. We are the longest serving fruit and veg stall on Enfield Market, having been here for 16 years. I used to run a shop in Walthamstow, but the ever-increasing cost of being a shopkeeper, along with increasing competition and lengthening opening hours, led me to move over to being here at Enfield Market.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you so much for listening. From the team of Jenny, Jane, Mo, Danny and Peter on the controls, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the memory stick into the packet in a closed position and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with Enfield Talking Newspaper on 020 8805 6578. Coming up next, the latest news and information for the Greater London area from InfoSound. The Enfield Talking Newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.